Welcome back to Seen It Before. We're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and today we're doing the first big movie of 2024. I almost said 2023, but I caught myself. Dune Part 2.
The second one.
Yes, the second one of the first book.
But a little bit of, our guest says, it's part of Messiah, the second book? Okay. Anyway, we got a guest today. It's Paul.
We've been wanting to have Paul on for the longest time, and I think as soon as Dune 2 was announced, you were just like,
I'm coming on.
Exactly.
Yes, I have a lot to say. I knew I was going to have strong feelings about this. Yeah. Well, you guys can call me Pooh. You don't have to call me
Pooh. All right. All right. Yeah. So
this is your favorite franchise, though, right?
This is I would say my second favorite franchise. Of course, Star Wars is where I hang my hat.
Star Wars was my favorite.
It is. It's still. It will always be special because I'm an old guy. Born in '77. Blah blah blah. So Star Wars.
The year of Star Wars.
Yeah, the year of Star Wars. My parents took me as an infant. Oh my goodness. It's a thing. But growing up, being that Gen X kid, when Star Wars was over-ish, we had just one little movie. David Lynch, Dune. And it was I kind of gravitated to that a little bit more because I was like, this is darker Star Wars.
It's not as so kiddie and...
No, it had a different vibe.
Yeah. And
so therefore, I got into it, the movie, then I got into the books. Not knowing the books actually came before Star Wars. 1965.
65, yeah.
It's old school, sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's like Isaac Asimov and what's the other guy? The fucking...
Oh, goodness.
I don't know his fucking name.
I can't remember. Who wrote the book?
No, Frank Herbert wrote the book.
Frank
Herbert. No, there was the whole era of the sci-fi artists or authors or whatever. Yeah.
Well, before we get into all the nitty-gritty of this movie, let's get to it.
So Dune Part 2 has just released, directed by Denis Villeneuve, starring, Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet, Florence Pugh, Austin Butler.
Fucking everybody under
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, she's great.
And, this movie has some of the best actors from the last 20 years plus and some of the best up-and-comers. It's got such a stacked cast.
It's got Elvis in it.
Yes, it has Elvis in it.
It's the future of Hollywood.
Honestly.
Well, he was telling me in the theater. They were
there was a tweet I saw yesterday that says, Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet, Florence Pugh, and Austin Butler are all the future of Hollywood, and they're all very different actors. True. And that's 100% true.
True. Yeah.
And it's great to see it because then you also got Javier Bardem, you got Rebecca Ferguson, you got whoever else is in the movie.
Just missing Pedro Pascal. Put him in everything.
He had too many commitments. It's fine. Before we get really deep into Part 2, let's do a little recap of Part 1.
Okay.
So, Danny, you're the one that's seen it the most recently. Give us a quick, 2-minute recap. Sand.
Yeah, there's lots of sand. They got these sand people, but they're not
the Fremen.
They're not stereotypes of indigenous sand people.
Do you need help? you need to call a friend for a lifeline.
You got the Atreides. They're all
House Atreides.
We got
House Harkonnen.
It's the movie that says desert power too many times. Let's be honest.
Desert power.
He says he's all desert power.
When I was at Comic-Con,
he's not wrong though.
People said that. They actually yelled it out at him multiple times in Comic-Con. When we were in his panel in New York City, and it was just he did say that a lot.
Well, he's not wrong. They took over the Atreides or Caladan with the air power and
sea power.
Sea power. But now they got to get desert power. It's smart.
Not knowing what desert power is.
Well,
just threw it out there.
But basically, so this is what I read in the book. It was mostly from Dr. Yue's perspective.
Yes.
Where he's they got my wife. They're gonna kill my wife. I need to do this and blah blah blah. In the movie, it's just kind of we just chilling. We're trying to understand what Iraq is all about because it got spice, and spice is also fuel, and it's also a really good drug. And kind of
it's a drug. It's space travel. All that stuff.
It's the most important element in this universe.
Right.
It is everything. It is like it's all the commerce. It's the stuff.
It's Pennywise.
It's pretty much yes. We have good spice down here, Timmy. No.
Yeah, so he's really just kind of training to be a warrior at first, I would say, right?
Well,
like
you're talking about
Well, he's just
in part one.
future of House Atreides.
He's
He's just
the
like
future, yeah.
trying to.
He's the prince.
Yep.
So everybody loves the prince.
Yep.
But he is like you gotta look at it as most princes. He's a kind of a spoiled kid. His mother wasn't supposed to have him.
The Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, because she's technically not a wife. She's a concubine.
Yeah, she a whore.
Yes. She was
For more or
told
less.
not to have sons. But the Bene Gesserit, that's kind of hypocritical because the whole thing about their order is to bring forth the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
And yet she did that. And she was told not to. Because she, as we'll talk about in 2, knows her lineage and what she's playing at. She's playing her own game.
Right.
But there's like a bigger religious game going on. Like, no, we need a guy we can control. And
It's political. It's all
I mean, goodness gracious. Perfect movie for the year, right?
honestly.
No, that'll be Civil War.
That was so
Goodness gracious.
yeah.
I'll come back on that for that. I'll come back and I'll bring my AK.
Oh God. Oh God.
We're blow up the place and then
Okay. So yeah, we get to Arrakis, and so the Harkonnens didn't control it, correct? At first,
They controlled spice for
They
many
controlled the
years.
spice, yeah.
So like they had control of Arrakis as conquerors. So like basically, and when you get there, they become like the richest house in the galaxy. So and they did it for I think it was like something like 30 years or something like that. Okay. So they had that control, and then of course the Fremen, the people of the planet, were fighting back. And have been fighting, and then that's when you get actually in part 1 the weak intro from Zendaya. I'm sorry, Zendaya, but
it's not as good as that 1984 one.
See, I don't know
no
any better.
gravitas.
Yeah,
to it. It
so-
doesn't
like-
set the movie up.
Well, neither does Florence Pugh's in this one.
It's better. It's better.
It's a little more.
It's just the vibe of this
I don't
version.
know. I
of
just
it.
know a lot about the book, so like I didn't have to like get this
But
introduction.
I'm gonna speak for the fair weather fan because I'm
Like,
a deep
but
fan.
that's me.
The fair weather fans. Everyone I talked to was like, "Oh, I loved part 1, but I was bored," or "I loved part 1 and I just didn't get it."
That's the weird thing. I'm not usually into Denis Villeneuve's movies.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking this is one of the only movies that from him that I'm
You
like,
didn't like
oh,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm following. It did feel kind of like scene to scene to scene kind of thing, but like I was into it.
Yeah,
you know, the
yes,
whole time.
stuff.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, stuff Villeneuve has done before is like Prisoners, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049. I mean, he's done sci-fi before.
That's one I just never got into.
You never got into that one?
2049. I'm just not. I'll get it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a boy Ryan Gosling. He's just sad and lonely. The
It's
whole time.
old school sci-fi, and old school sci-fi, it hits.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different, but it's not.
Well, I'll definitely say that, like, so the only thing I got really, like, one-to-one comparison I can think of is just, like, the original Star Wars for this. And, like, this one felt like Roman epic.
Yeah.
Greek
Yeah.
epic kind
Yeah.
of thing where it's like, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah.
the world is going to... Yes, I didn't really get that, like, at the end of the A New Hope when, like, you know, they're standing there at the ceremony.
Because,
Like,
well,
we defeated this, you know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, New Hope was at its time. It was
Yeah,
so big, and it was just.
Like, was it the same kind of vibe for the 80s movie or, like...
You mean like Empire?
No,
No.
like the Dune 84 movie.
No, I don't believe that.
Let's see. I'll see what it
I don't
did.
think it did well, actually.
Let me check that.
I mean, and it has a kind of a niche group. Mm-hmm. Like it's like old school, deep nerd. 80s nerd culture.
It did not do well. So it was
I know it's not a good movie.
it was a $40 million.
It's my favorite movie. It's not a good movie.
It was a $40 million budget and only made $30 million
Yeah,
worldwide.
it didn't.
So, it bombed.
It did not do well. It had that secondary market. It became like a cult classic.
Yeah.
And like when I went to the premiere, so I got to see it for you guys. It was awesome. Didn't get the bucket, which I was mad.
Yeah, AMC.
AMC only, right?
They're worried about what people are going to do to the bucket.
I'm not gonna. I just wanted the bucket.
Let's not get into the bucket.
because
The
it looks
bucket is a big
so. Because of the way it looked, it made national news. Like,
it's still making news. It's still making news.
Like, yo, you know what these people are doing in this bucket?
We talked about this when I said the first time you see Lord of the Rings, And they give
You
you
have
that
like a 10-minute
Yeah, you get that backstory, and it's big, and you see, oh, okay, this is these are the stakes.
They could
this is that.
they could have done that, but then would they have been accused of stealing from Lord of the Rings though?
As we just,
Which is
I could accuse.
actually, George Lucas.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
What?
Actually,
Go for
George Lucas stole from Herbert. Like,
Yeah.
Doing Star Wars.
It's like in the same way that like
artist theft.
How so? Like,
well,
what,
so,
what
like,
specifically?
it's like he uses concepts, but he doesn't make them the focus of Star Wars.
I
think.
get
You know what I
that.
mean? It's like the sand, like the Tusken Raiders being the same as the Fremen.
Fremen.
Sure, that's there, but like the Fremen are the main characters in Dune, but definitely not in Star Wars.
Okay, but Tatooine, Arrakis,
A desert planet?
desert-
Oh, like
But
you don't have a monopoly on a desert
All right,
planet.
how important is Tatooine in Star Wars?
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
The planet itself, no, but because of where the two
planet?
main characters of the entire story come from.
How many times have we gone back there?
Way too much.
Well, because
We even went back in The Mandalorian.
it wasn't supposed to be a big thing. It was it's supposed to be a shitty outpost planet that
okay.
nobody
Outer
likes.
Rim planet. Yep.
Yeah.
Yet we see it in so many of the movies.
Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Tatooine, the most boring planet in the world.
And we see it in all the Filoni stuff. Like,
Yeah,
he's
because
going back.
he can't get off George's dick.
I mean, I agree. But I'm glad he's there. Because if he
Well,
wasn't,
Well, I don't know.
If it
I'd
was
rather
like-
them fuck up something new instead of fucking up what's.
I mean,
That's fair.
fine. Star Wars is Star Wars, Dune is Dune. But there are some. We'll say they're kissing cousins. We'll go that.
Oh, the cousins.
Cousins
Right.
thing,
Okay.
yeah, the cousins.
Well, speaking of that though,
Yeah.
so after like the Harkonnen raid
Mm-hmm.
on Arrakis and they kill all the
Yep.
Atreides and stuff, he says like he's got like Leto they like paralyzed or
Yes.
whatever, and he's like eating his food and stuff. He's like, "You got a good kitchen cousin."
Yes.
Are they actually cousins? Because
Yes.
that's going to get
Yes.
confusing
Yes.
later.
Yes. All right. You got to understand, all the great houses are related. Just like any monarchy. Like, they're all
Yeah.
related.
Yeah,
Like, you
it's-
go to the English monarchy, they're related.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're related. And that's why they're the monarchies, because that's passed down through bloodline. He happens to be the Harkonnen bloodline. This is the Atreides bloodline. That's why he says, oh, your bloodline's dead. That's what he tells him that. He says, your bloodline's gone. And that's what I wanted to get
But
rid
it
of.
ain't. It ain't gone.
Duh.
No, he don't know.
He don't know. He don't know.
He's that guy.
But then that's what 2 makes it so like,
Yeah.
like this dude is the last of the bloodline. You know, Paul Atreides out in the desert
Right.
learning.
Well, but even that, even he's not though, because Jessica's pregnant,
yes,
Yes.
Jessica,
which we know in the beginning. Of
yes,
part
Jessica is pregnant, but we'll get into that's the
Which
deep
that's a
weeds.
whole other thing.
That's a whole other. That's deep weeds.
That's another can of worms.
Well, all right. So
See what I did there?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yes.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah. So let's go a little more towards the end of part 1. So
Okay, everybody dies.
yeah, everyone dies.
Even Duncan, Idaho. But you tell me they're gonna do some bullshit
Rip.
later.
No.
I hope they don't.
It's written. It's just written.
It is written. Yeah. So basically, it just ends there like meeting the Fremen in that.
Yeah,
area.
It's not. Yeah,
guess.
it's not a cliffhanger.
See,
it's a really weak ending.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah.
He defeats what's his face, Jamis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what I didn't understand is if you didn't tell me that he can see different timelines,
Yes.
like potential futures.
Yes.
I would have thought, like, oh, he's just talking like dead people or something. Like,
No.
Yeah.
like everyone he
No, 'cause
kills
his-
or whatever.
Yeah, his
like-
visions they don't give you that information. But when you watch it, you watch one and you look at some of the visions you see him having, you realize, wait a minute. All right, that didn't happen yet. That
Yeah.
didn't happen yet. And then when you get to 2, you're like, wait a minute. That vision, especially if you go back to 1, you still say, wait a minute. They showed a bunch of visions in 2 and 1 that we haven't even seen in 2 yet. So clearly he's seeing different things.
Yeah.
Like the sand
He doesn't
battle.
know what happens where.
Yes, because his vision isn't clear yet. Now, we
Once
get into 2.
Yep. Let's get into 2.
Get into 2. Because 2, for me, and I'm going to say it, I texted you as soon as I got out of the theater. What did I say? And I'm
Visual master.
visual master.
100%.
Keep my words clear. Visual masterpiece. Now, there's some issues in the story, a little bit, yes. But yeah, it is a visual masterpiece. It's what you go to the cinema for.
Yeah.
We haven't had movies that you say, okay, look, I'm going to go spend my money and go sit down and watch. This is that. This is that movie.
I think we were all talking before the podcast. It was probably like what? Well, I said Infinity War. You said Lord of the Rings, and you didn't say anything. So,
but I mean, those two movies were that's cinema. That's real. Yeah. That's what you want to pull up to the theater.
That's an action adventure movie you want to see
in the theater on the big screen,
the biggest possible screen,
because,
best possible audio.
Because at that point, you know. If you watch this at home, it's not the same unless you got the 80-inch, which all people do. But you know,
well, I just got a soundbar, so
we get all this. We start off with what is it? A little bit of Lady Jessica talking to the fetus.
Yes,
we start off with that. I think
that's important. That's extremely important. That's his sister.
Yes.
Now, it's a lot of people were questioning this. The other guy we know was like, hey, I saw the trailers. I don't see a sister in it. I don't see a sister in it. Now, in the books and in a lot of the other versions of Dune, I think Sci-Fi Channel did a thing of Dune and a couple others, they always either show her as an infant or a young child. Even in David Lynch, she's a little girl.
Is she like a vision in those?
Yes.
Okay.
But the way they did it in this movie, I think, was the best way. Showing how powerful this little girl is going to be. She's actually taking over her mom as like a host, and that voice change, that was sick.
Yeah.
And made it, because she's a dark character.
Yeah.
And we got to remember, too, that, yes, even though we're looking at Paul Atreides, Moabdi, Kwisatz Haderach, the dude's got a lot of names.
Yeah.
He's the guy, but is he a hero?
No, he is not.
I'm getting you guys don't know what Attack on Titan's all about, but I'm getting major Attack on Titan vibes. So it's like, yo, he's our savior. Oh no, he's not.
He is and he isn't.
I know parts of what happens in Dune Messiah, but thanks to Cameron. Yeah, it gets dark. It gets a lot darker.
and I love how they've already set that stage in this movie.
Yeah.
And let's give this movie its true props. It's really good at saying, okay, showing you, okay, this is the maturation of the guy. And then and they do some great little comedy in there where it's like, oh, he's the Messiah. What's his name does that scene?
What, Javier Bardem?
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, Stilgar. Yeah.
Stilgar in this was brilliant.
So here's the thing.
He's just like, I thought he's the ultimate hype man.
We really only get like one or two scenes of him in the first one. So like when he's doing his thing in this one, I'm like, oh, he's this kind of character.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you guys like, oh, he believes that Paul's that guy.
Yes. Yeah. And he's always believed it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We once again, one didn't do its justice. When he does his spit thing at the table, he looks at Paul and says, I recognize you.
Oh, wait. Paul recognizes him?
No. Stilgar.
How does Stilgar recognize him, though?
Because he grew up with the prophecies.
Yes, he's the South. He's from the South.
Based on the cave writings?
Based on what the Bene Gesserit, they remember the oh goodness.
Like, did they give him visions or something?
No. They just gave him true believers. Now we can go into religion. Because, I did go to school for it. So this movie rings a lot of bells for me.
Yeah.
True believers that believe in the prophecies, and that's even today. It's very much grounded in how we live today. That when they believe something, and they're told, hey, look, that guy might be the guy, they say, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what because I think Jessica says like they see what they want to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's playing on it. She's playing that chip.
Yep.
Through the whole movie.
Yep.
That she's like, okay, she's like, yeah, I'm from this group, but I'm going to do my own thing.
Here's the thing. I'm just confused on I think I'm a little confused on Jessica's whole vibe. Okay, so it doesn't look like she really vibes with the Bene Gesserit. Like their politics. She is one, but it doesn't look like
she's using it for her own.
Yeah, she's playing her own game.
Yeah.
What's her own game, though?
Her own game is to
her end game
to make him the Kwisatz Haderach. Yes. To make her his,
but it's like since when though? I don't know. At least
from the beginning.
In the beginning of this movie, she's just kind of like, oh no, this is, like she's not taking to the Fremen ways as well as Paul is.
Well, yeah, she's not.
She's like, oh, I gotta wear this fucking suit thing. I gotta take this, drink this, and die.
Well, no. She knew she had to drink that. She had to do it because she understood the stakes. She understood, hey, everything we have to do is to get to this next level, or else we're going to die in the desert.
Right.
She understood that. But here's a little nugget.
Okay.
Hopefully people might write in and say he's wrong, but I do believe she is somehow related to the head mother that we see in it. I think that's her.
Well, she's
the one-
Harkonnen's son.
No, she's Harkonnen's
Harkonnen's
daughter.
daughter, yeah.
Yes. Who the Baron raped that main woman that we see. The
Okay.
main.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
see that.
that's in the book.
Yo, is she still with him? She's on-
No. She's not. But once again, that's how they keep trying to bring forth the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
He
so
raped
she-
her. That's why when she goes to meet him, it's really weird. And she's like, "Oh yeah, remove your creature." This, that, silence. There's intention there.
I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah, that's her mom.
Interesting.
She outplayed her mom. She did the Game of Thrones, bro.
Huh.
She outplayed. That's why at the end of 2, she says, she gives her the title of Bene Gesserit Mother, and she says that
Reverend Mother.
Reverend. She calls her daughter Reverend Mother. That's a big deal because she, for all these years, has been the Reverend Mother to the Emperor.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So like,
I'm just shit.
yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah. So there's a lot of incest.
Gotta
A
read
lot
the
of
books,
like.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
But they did stick to the source material a lot.
okay.
So then Jessica, they get to their Fremen.
Yeah.
They get to the Fremen, like I guess headquarters or whatever in the north,
Yes.
and then they're like, "Yo, drink this."
No. She hears about it. Because that's in the South.
Why
Drink
do
it.
they want to make her the Reverend Mother?
Because their Reverend Mother was dying.
Yeah, they needed
Okay,
a new
and the
one.
Reverend Mother already is another Bene Gesserit.
Yes.
Yes.
But it looks like she's been there for a while.
Yes.
Yes. Because they said that they have been doing this throughout the galaxy, kind of like most giant church organizations. They're out the galaxy. They're doing their propaganda thing. They're telling because they're trying to build it.
But it's not propaganda. It looks like because it came true.
It came
Yes,
true, yes.
yes.
But it's been centuries.
Right. So like by the time that it actually happened, like, we don't know.
Yeah, because that's why the North was kind of like mocking him a little bit, like saying, "Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
he's
surprised-
from the South. You believe, but we don't."
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that the Reverend Mother, I guess the head of all this big religion, is in the North where they don't really believe.
No, she's in the South.
She is.
She was in the South.
Oh, so does Jessica like stay in the South then? Or, like,
Yes, she had. Oh well,
because I'm just gonna because it's like Paul's like I can't go south
Yeah.
or else I'll end up doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
But like, Jessica's already there, kind of like halfway through the movie.
yeah, she's there because the Bene Gesserits have already laid a way for him. He already has the fanatics. As she says, I'm going to the fanatics.
Yeah.
I'm going to the people I know will follow him instantly.
Which is fucking a million
Yep.
people.
200. It was 200 first, right?
Yeah, it was 200.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's a
the
million
northern
on the
people,
yeah.
though.
Yes.
Yeah, but planet-wise,
Yeah.
it's like over a
Yeah.
million.
It's fucking-
Yeah, they
you
gotta-
can't go past the sandstorm. So I guess nobody lit. Yeah. Harkins are fucking stupid, bro.
Well, they were based on greed, and they were
Yeah.
making enough that they.
But I'm surprised that like their greed didn't drive them to be like, okay, we're going to design the ships to go through this sandstorm, and we're going to start harvesting the spice.
No,
over on
because
the other
ships,
side.
because they said the sand was the worst thing that could happen to any technology. It was like it just tears.
Boy, were they wrong.
I'll say.
Clearly. But yes, there's that. So she understood the stakes, and you question how much does she believe? Like, because there's true believers, those people that'll go off a cliff and there's like, I believe.
You got the Harvey Bardem. And
He's a true
he'll go.
believer, but like of course she understood. Okay, you're Bene Gesserit. I'm a Bene Gesserit. I've heard this my whole life. This guy is supposed to come, and then she gets scolded by the Reverend Mother in the first movie and says, "You thought you could just? I told you to only have girls.
Yep.
I told you what you thought you're gonna. So your arrogance made you think you're gonna bring forth the Kwisatz Haderach. You think you're gonna do that?
And she's all like, bitch, I did.
Well, but if you notice, she's in a very humble state. And that's happening because she's not sure.
Well, how can you be sure until it happens?
Exactly.
Yeah. You got to have
She's
faith.
not sure, but that's when he does the whole hand in the box, which is the biggest thing of that.
See, but
that movie.
that doesn't seem like the biggest thing though, because it's what Fade does it too.
Yeah, but they don't show it.
Yeah, they don't.
Think about that. They don't show it.
I thought it was like they didn't show it just for like convenience of like 'cause
No,
we already know
because
what's
they
going to
say
happen.
because she says, "Oh, we have many prospects." They keep saying it. We have many because they were trying to do.
So
this.
what happened? Like she just decided not to kill him, maybe?
No,
when he pulled out his hand?
No,
or
he
like
didn't pull
did
his
it?
hand out. He passed the test.
Yeah, he passed the test.
What are they like?
Because he enjoyed. Because she said he enjoyed
like
There's
calm or
pain.
something?
He's controllable, sexually controllable.
Yes, so sexually controllable and loves pain.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in the box, you feel pain. So for him, that was all right.
He's like, I'm having a good
Good
time.
time. I mean, he's a really dark character.
Yeah.
And of course,
like-
what does he do? He also has sex with her.
Yeah.
Pregnant.
Secured the bloodline.
Yes,
Yep.
he did.
Yep.
That's all they cared about.
Which I mean, like it's
Yep.
Leah Seydoux. You don't say no.
I mean,
so
Yeah.
but like, so like his whole thing. Which also I love that scene where he's fighting the Coliseum thing. Like,
dude, his intro was sick.
that was beautiful.
they go
Yeah.
black and white
The,
with
the whole
it.
black
Yeah,
and white,
they did a whole-
So
the
good.
liquid fireworks. Like what?
That was it was very well designed,
That was
very well. Oh
beautiful to
my
watch.
god.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful to watch. It was like the first time when I saw 300, and I said, "Whoa, what the heck is this?" And just look, but it was better.
Let's not get into Zack Snyder right now. I know.
I mean, it looked great.
Yes, it did.
I didn't see enough speed ramping though. Like that's dog shit. Then you know.
Okay, so let's talk about Zendaya's Shani in this movie.
All right, Zendaya, the beloved character and kind of the most overlooked character in the whole movie. But one of
She's
the
the
most-
only one who has any common sense here.
no, he had common sense, but you got to understand what they say about this is a revenge movie.
Yes.
I think people have to understand that this is not a hero story.
Yeah.
This is I want revenge.
Yep.
Hey, you killed my father.
This
Setting
is a
up the rest of everything,
This
yeah.
is a darker sci-fi tale.
Yeah.
It's not the knight in shining armor. No, this is the dude who's like, I'm killing everybody until I get where I want.
Yeah.
Because I see everything now. Like when he takes the Water of Life scene, they downplayed it a bit, but her name, like she said, her name was part of a prophecy that she didn't believe. Her tears is what saved his life. And they knew that. You know, so like when that happens, all of a sudden, Jessica yells out, "Oh no, get her tears, get her tears." Because he knew that was part of the prophecy. Once that part of the prophecy is fulfilled, that's it.
Yeah.
At that moment, he's not just Usul, that his Fremen name is. He's not Muad'Dib, which is like the little mouse. Now he's the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
He's Space Jesus.
He's that guy.
He's the Messiah.
He's that guy, and he can see everything. He can see
Literally everything.
yeah, and it's like he's like insanely powerful. It's like getting dumped on with every power from every Marvel character at once, and saying
Well, let's not get into Secret Invasion here.
everybody. Not super strong.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
But like that's pretty much what
Yeah,
happens in
it's-
that
yes.
moment.
Yeah.
And if you notice, as soon as that moment happens, he goes from 0 to 100.
Yep.
He walks in that next hearth of all
And
those Fremen.
He's
and
very
threatens them.
very confident, very vengeful.
Yes. But I mean, that scene where he threatens basically every single Fremen on the
Hey,
planet.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
And if you know,
You give water to people in your dreams. Oh, it's written.
but not just that, like he literally, everybody pulls their knives out. He threatened their culture. His lady at the time, she pulls her knife out.
Yeah.
Like everybody knives out, ready to go. Like they're ready to kill him in that moment.
Yeah.
And then he starts dropping dudes like histories, like, "Oh yeah, your grandmother did this." Everybody's like, "Oh."
Look at that.
Like dudes start telling people's history. It's like, wait a minute. Like this dude knows everything. But
Yeah, that was one of the best scenes of the movie.
yeah, because he showed like, hey, I'm that guy.
That's legit where I thought they were gonna end the movie. Where they're
Would
like,
have been an interesting place to end the movie.
yeah, it's like
But
I'm the
no.
queen that had that.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more, and I'm glad we got
Yes.
the more.
Yes.
Because even that fight with
So
Fade.
the only thing I think I can ding this movie on is that like it sets a certain pace throughout the first like 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're doing this, and we're doing that, we're doing that. Oh my god, well, they're still going.
Yeah, the pace hops.
Yeah.
It goes fast. It starts moving.
So I mean, some people like that because it ramps up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really like it too much because if they kind of like incorporate, like maybe he becomes the Queequeg
Haderach.
You do that halfway through. You see, you get the fun and games. You meet Fade. You kind of cut a lot of the stuff with Paul being like, I don't know, should I go south? I don't know.
I like that
Because he's like,
No,
do
but
it.
but that's the best part of it because he's still at that point he's still holding on to his humanity.
The thing is though, like, what makes him change his mind though? Is it just like that talk with Gurney?
The talk with Gurney helps, but the visions he couldn't see anymore. His visions got to a point where like you have to take this next step or all you're seeing is bad. Because that's what he said. I keep having this vision. I'm following this person.
Oh.
And that's where
Everyone's his
Zendaya's
family.
face and all that stuff.
See, I thought he was saying like, if I go south, if I become the Queequeg Haderach, like he'll.
No, his vision was showing him if I follow her, everyone's gonna die.
Yep.
I got to figure out a way.
Oh, that's the billions and billions of people dying if
Yes.
he doesn't do anything.
Yes.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yes, that vision, and let's talk about Gurney for a quick second.
Yeah, go ahead.
That Gurney scene is great because like he's a smuggler, Han Solo, and all of a sudden he's just like just like he escapes this giant slaughter.
Yep.
He's in the desert, just being a smuggler.
Guess
Getting
I'll make some
spice
money.
on, making some cash.
I think in that scene I mentioned, I whispered to Danny, "Destiny arrives."
God.
He's fucking dying.
But like he's also that little song.
Yeah.
I got pissed in my stilts. That's awesome.
He does.
It's just like his character, because he knows what happened to his house. Like he's like the last true Atreides, if you say that at that point.
Oh, he's related?
Well, he's not
just
related, but
okay.
that's his house. Like,
That was
Yeah.
So like he's on a revenge kick too. If you notice, every time you see him around the Fremen and they're having their conversations, and Zendaya's kind of like, wait a minute, she's like, no, wait a minute, let this happen.
Yeah.
Let it happen, because he didn't care about all that Kwisatz stuff. He cares about, we need to get revenge. What happened to us?
Well,
we got to make it happen.
Yeah, so he's able to like Paul's able to like get all these religious nut jobs.
Yes.
Like, yo, you guys like me? I don't like these guys. You want to help me? Like,
Which Zendaya was afraid that was going to happen. That was her biggest fear, is that, okay, we've been conquered already.
so like we're just going to be the conquerors, and like that's not going to.
And we're kind of getting conquered again by the fanatics, because remember her people.
Because she's part of the faction where it's like we disagree and they're still losing. So it's like she's still
So she's not really a true.
But she's not going to exactly be like enslaved. Like it's not like
but when you change one master to another, is it slavery?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's like the whole again Attack on Titan. Like that's the whole thing where it's like who really is in the wrong. It's all like you guys did this shit to us. We're gonna do this shit to you. But who's worse? We don't know. Like generations of hate and bigotry, or one giant fucking nuke on you. Like,
True. I mean, also let's not overshadow that. Yeah, they had nukes hidden.
Where did that come from? I didn't see that. I was like,
nobody could open it because it was only Paul.
Yeah, only Paul could open it. So he knew it was sent with the advanced team and all that other stuff. But yet those nukes are like, that was like their family arsenal. That even Paul thought, oh, that was just lost to time.
Yeah.
Like, because every house had like their own like secret arsenal. There's some like, oh, we don't even remember.
The only thing is,
Never
why
used
is it on Arrakis and not Caladan?
Because they had to move to Arrakis. So it's kind of like the the black box with the president. Like wherever the president goes, the nukes are going with them.
Right, but I don't know. I just find it hard to believe. But it's like, okay, let's build an entire missile silo in the middle of the desert that nobody knows where it is.
And hid it in plain sight. That's the best part.
yeah, like
Not clever.
Not clever. Yes.
I mean, he's not wrong.
because like at time of when that happened, they had been on Arrakis for what, maybe like 6-7 months, maybe.
It seems
Like they had just gotten there. It seemed like.
The time is weird.
The time is weird. I can't. There is.
I'm going off the
Even
pregnancy.
in-
That's
even
what I'm
in the
going
book,
off of.
It's like we're here. Oh, the Harkonnens killed us.
Yeah.
It's right. It's pretty quick, but I think there's a little bit more time stretched out there.
Yeah.
I think it's a few years actually. It's supposed to be a few, because he's doing all these like guerrilla missions, and he's taking out the Harkonnens.
But she's still pregnant though.
Yeah.
So like,
There's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
it's
Maybe it's just like it takes a lot of time to throw a Jesus alien.
I don't know.
sandworm
It's
maybe.
weird.
yeah. There's some time confusion there.
For
Here's
sure.
another thing though. I'm not sure if it's explained at all. Why is Paul special? Why is this daughter special?
Why is Paul special? It's just because of what the Bene Gesserit has done throughout the galaxy. They've just been mingling the bloodlines.
Just like the right.
He's just the right time.
Right guy, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the daughter for a second. Let's talk about her. Like why is she so important?
Well, she's
Sorry, Anya Taylor-Joy.
She's important because when his mother took the blue juice, the worm pisses.
Worm piss,
I love that. She got all the powers of a Reverend Mother as a fetus, which is insane, because you saw what Jessica was afraid to even do it.
Yep.
Because they literally said, once she goes in there to that older Reverend Mother, she's going to get histories waves of histories of Reverend Mother's knowledge in like one setting, and that's before. That's right. She's like they're like a lot of stuff was happening. She's getting tons and tons of power, and then even the old Reverend Mother when they linked, she's like, "Oh, we've done something horrible." She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
And
yeah.
that right there shook her to her core, saying, "This fetus is probably the most dangerous character of all."
Yeah, because she you know. So here's another thing though.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm just trying to poke holes in this.
What holes in it? It's still a good movie.
Can there only be one Reverend Mother?
No, there are a few. There are many. There are many all throughout the.
So there's
It's for
there can
each
be-
house, I guess.
yeah,
maybe?
there's one for each house, but then there's one who stands above the rest. Who's kind of like
So okay, so then who is the one that stands above?
the one that was next to her mom.
Is it Jessica or
Jessica's
the
mom
the
who was
baby?
next to
Yeah.
the emperor, because she's basically
So wait,
whispering in the emperor's ear.
So she's even more powerful than the baby.
Who? Jessica?
No, the Emperor's Bene
She
Gesserit.
got-
she's
Charlotte
not more
Rampling.
powerful. She's not more powerful. It's just that it's rank.
Oh, so it's political.
Yeah,
right?
it's political.
Okay.
It's all. I understand. This is all based in a lot of power.
So, well, because they got some real power.
Yeah, there's religion involved. Religion's very powerful, and when you add religion and politics, things get real.
That never went wrong anywhere in history.
But yet, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Like she's like the Pope, you know.
Oh, okay.
But now Jessica, that's why when all right, now let's get back into like what happens near the end of the movie. All right,
Okay.
the fight with Fade, which is great.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
It was really well done, just straight up. Because think about it, they just go sword to sword.
Yeah, like they make a knife fight interesting.
Yes, and in the original, I like that knife fight. He was staying,
Yeah, the 84 one, yeah, it was good.
staying in his man panties. Things were going.
Yeah,
cool,
it was
bro.
something.
They did leave out something very, very important in this
Yeah.
movie. And that's where the Wearing Way, the voice is kind of like the Force to the Jedi.
Okay.
But Paul teaches the Fremen how to use the voice with weapons.
Oh yeah. Like
And they said because in the book it says, oh, his name is even a weapon because the way they say it.
yeah, like the way they say it, they can like.
You can focus.
It's basically like gunfire. It's like
more deep. And then-
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
actually, in the David Lynch movie, that actually happens.
Yes, yes.
Where someone's saying, more deep, and he's like shaking, all of a sudden he splits a rock in half.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. They don't do that in this movie. Why? And I'm thinking, I don't know if they didn't do it.
I don't think it would have made sense.
It would have made a little bit more sense because, granted, the Fremen are big in number. The Khazar of the Emperor, those guys are like the best fighters in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. That's why when they showed up and they start floating down, you start realizing, oh, like even even Duncan was like, hey, they're here, man.
We screwed.
We screwed. Like it's like they're here. Like you know, when you cross swords with those guys, like it's
Yeah.
on. Like,
Yeah.
So like they're serious fighters. So
See, I didn't really get that vibe in the first one because
And that
the way
ki-
they take out they're on like the steps. You got the Harkonnens pushing up, and then you got the
Yes.
Sardaukar coming in.
and that's why
behind.
the Harkonnens stop because they're like, oh yeah, better.
You do your thing.
Special forces are here. Like, the real dudes are here, and that's it was kind of lost because when the Emperor shows up, he doesn't show up with 2 battalions like they did in the first movie. He shows up with his guard, like his crew.
Yeah.
His posse.
I was straight up expect. So when they drop all those nukes on them,
Yeah.
and then the sandworms,
Yeah.
and then the army,
Yeah.
like I was expecting like just after like all the rocks tumble on all like their whole area, I thought like, oh, they're dead. Everybody's dead.
Sad.
No.
It's sad. Now
Of course, Trevor gets everyone, but doesn't
We
kill
gotta
you.
fight. Which I did love the fact that they finally kind of show you and explain how they can hide in the sand. You see the little snorkel thing sticking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
was really cool.
That was cool because you see this. Like, why are they popping up out the sand? Like, oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, they set that up in the very beginning. It was a really cool payoff.
Yeah,
at the
it
end.
is a payoff. And the thing is, the patience of it all. Like, you got to wait.
You got a plan.
You got to plan. You got to be ready. That's guerrilla warfare. But we know this guerrilla warfare works.
It does.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was reading all or saw the tactics that a lot of the Viet Cong used. Like, oh my god, the shit that they used to do was
Tunnel
like
rat stuff, man. That's scary stuff.
they would like drown people coming through the tunnels, and then there would be like try to like block off like the tunnels,
Spike
but then there would
pits,
just be
yeah.
more tunnels to go back to their home base, and then the rats and stuff. And oh my god,
That's, you know,
Yeah, it's
And that's what
the
happens when
worst
you-
one is when they have like a false ground with spikes on
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
So then you step, and then it would break, and then it go into the sides of your leg.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Not to kill, but to maim.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. But that's,
It's like extra cruel.
That's what makes fighting on your home planet.
Yeah. So you know what's up.
We see at the end, everybody
take
gets
advantage
on
of your
ships.
surroundings.
Yeah, everybody
Yes.
gets on ships.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
wait a minute, wait, you took the Fremen off their planet, dude.
Yeah, well, because that's the whole. That's a lot of you really see like you're harnessing the power of the desert.
Yes.
Like that's like their whole thing. That's like all they got. And then now you're taking them to like a place where like they have air and sea power. Like they don't even know what fucking swimming is. Like
never seen
they're
oceans.
screwed, dude.
Yeah.
What do they say? When you go to Arrakis, you wash your ass with sand. Like, wait, it's gonna suck in space, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens in the next movie.
Yeah, do they even know that like they need to like breathe?
Let's talk about Florence Pugh and Christopher
air?
Walken for a second. The Emperor and Florence Pugh.
I Christopher Walken, I didn't like his performance when I
Yeah, he was all right.
He was doing his Christopher Walken thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he did say something. When I watched the interviews from the premiere, he said it was told a long time ago by an older actor. When you're ever playing a king or someone of that ilk, like an emperor, you don't need to do anything because your title tells you who you are.
It's true.
Yeah.
So that's why he's doing all this just posing. It's quiet.
Just kind of here.
I'm just power.
Yeah, when they're playing chess, he's just kind of like,
Yeah. Because he's power.
yeah.
But he's also regretting. I think there's some regret there. And I don't think we get it, but I think
Oh, that's another thing. I want to understand. I don't think I truly understand exactly why all this shit happened.
that's where
like-
the David Lynch movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that
becomes
what
king.
the monologue is all
The
about?
monologue, and
like-
they explain it. All right, now the reason how they can remember in the first movie, and it's only a small piece, but it's very important. When the herald shows up, that big globe thing, and they have to sign, and Duke Leto turns to I love that actor with the freckles, black guy. He's supposed to be like a supercomputer. He says,
Oh,
hey,
for Howard.
yes.
Yeah.
He says, hey, how much did it cost them to make this trip? And he says the navigators, and just some amount, he said it was an astronomical amount. Those navigators are very, very important. That's why spice is important. That's how they can travel between worlds. And when I say worlds, in the galaxy, because they have you see that big tube in front of the planet and everybody's coming out of it. That's how they basically open wormholes to do like interstellar travel through the galaxy.
It's crazy.
It's like they just didn't think that the Atreides would help them out with that?
No.
Or like,
No, the spice is kind of what fuels them. They're creatures too, and they
The
also,
Atreides are?
no.
No,
It's
the Navigators.
We haven't seen the navigators yet in this movie. You see it in the David Lynch movie, and you see that the navigators were the ones on top of the Bene Gesserit told the emperor, hey, we see because of the spice gave them visions, and it says we see somebody coming.
Paul Atreides.
Paul Atreides. Or they said he's in the house. They didn't know exactly who. They said in the house of Atreides. You got to take them out.
oh. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the Emperor, so he's all like, I just killed like
He killed the whole house.
like a super important piece of
Well, yeah, their house was the house that other houses looked to as leadership. And they were kind of like, wow, their voices on he said, oh, their voice is rising.
yeah.
That's what Baron Harkin says. He said, oh, their voice is rising. But he was rich. He was the richest house. And that's one of the reasons why they looked a certain way, the Harkin is. Let's not take that away. That's important. They're so rich that they focus more on technology, and they've kind of lost their humanity. That's why they're so brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Faye just like slits like a girl's throat or whatever. He's like, or no, like
He tried to test how sharp his knife is.
Yeah.
yeah, take him to my my quarters or whatever.
Have fun with
feed him to my whatever.
Yeah, he was just he's on some he's sick, twisted.
Insane. Just insane.
Insane.
That's not so. They really pushed the envelope for the PG-13 rating.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more blood, and I'm thinking, oh wait, it's PG-13.
Yeah. And they did it well.
Yeah,
I like the fact that we finally see Batista in a role where he's not like he's just playing a coward.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was
Big,
so crazy.
burly man.
Yeah, poor guy can't catch a break.
No.
Like he doesn't win anything.
He
you know?
tried to attack that was how he just got overwhelmed. He's like, oh.
Only in this world will Elvis beat up Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Only time.
Yeah, it was hilarious because you see him like his job was just to keep Arrakis in check. And
He sucks.
he couldn't handle it. He's in. I love that red room where they're looking at the planet. And like, okay, we just lost that harvester. We just lost.
Well, it's
that
like he's
one.
also stupid because he's all like, they're taking out this stuff. Let's just do the same thing over again to try to like. There's like no battle tactics to
No.
try to prevent other than just
not.
flying in like a helicopter just to.
No, he's not that guy. He's just brute force,
Yeah, it sucks.
and it doesn't work.
That's why I mean, in Fade isn't much better. He's able to corner a few of them. And
Well, Fade doesn't. Fade was looking to be Baron. He didn't care as much.
Well, he wants to get the whole spice thing back on track.
Well,
So he thinks that like the only issue they have is just they're just taking out our harvesters.
Yeah.
Like no, we got fucking space Jesus They're coming to kill us.
And that's why you notice when you see Paul doing this thing, and you see Fade's like walking in the background, it's kind of stalking like a cat. You see how he's walking behind everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
he's checking
that
it
killing
out.
is going on, he's like, ooh, this dude's different.
Yeah,
And even because think about it, they thought the last two Atreides was in that arena. He says that. He said, "Oh, Atreides, you fought well." But they kept giving them like basically lame fighters. It's like, oh, that one's limping. Why is that one not limping? Like,
yeah. Well, they kept drugging him. I guess.
yeah, he kept
Yeah.
drugging him.
It's like, what a
it wasn't
pussy.
a fair fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and the dude was, and that's why Baron's like, I got to test him. If he wants my seat, I got to test him.
Which like that dude put up a lot of fun. Like he was starved.
Yep.
Didn't have any armor. Had a
Probably
shitty
tortured.
knife. Yeah. Yeah, put up a good fight.
Did well for himself.
Right.
So I mean, that's why I didn't. Obviously, like by the end of when he has the knife fight, I'm like, okay, so Paul's definitely gonna win.
Yeah.
But they did get me for a quick second, where they're like, he gets stabbed, obviously, and then it looked like he gets stabbed again.
He
Which
does.
he does. He's
He
the
does. He
shoulder.
got shot
See,
there.
I thought for a second, like when they kind of like go like that or something, like Paul's able to like twist the knife a little bit and like send it into him.
No.
But I figured like he pulls it out.
If
and
you go back to the fight that Paul has with Gurney in 1,
oh yeah, that's exactly how
he won that fight was, and Woody Gurney, he said, I've got you, old man. He said, yeah, but you've joined me in death.
I mean, that's also how Fade was
Yes.
killed the other guy in the arena. So I mean, yeah.
You kind of got, that's kind of the reason why, everybody always wonders, like, why do they have these shields? What's up with these shields? Like, everybody got these body shields.
Yeah.
That was hard for me to understand at first.
Yeah. It's just a form of protecting yourself because everything in this world, even though they have the lasers and stuff, they like to fight close combat. That's
Yeah.
kind
Well,
of
they
their
have
thing.
to, though.
That's their thing.
I mean, I do like the fact that like it's not like no guns can be used because like as long as you just have enough force to
I mean,
slowly
nukes
go
can be
in.
used.
Used to get down the shield. It's in the David Lynch one. They actually use the sandworms to take down the
Yeah.
shield, which
Yeah.
I kind of like that a little better. The nuke thing is cool, but the sandworm thing is
So there's no nukes in the original. They probably couldn't do the effects.
in the original. No, there's no nukes in that. It's just sandworm power and the sandworm.
That makes more sense because it's tribal versus technologically.
That's how they
then,
went. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But yes, it is still visually a masterpiece. It has its ups, it has its downs, but it's overall a good movie.
Well, the thing is, like the when I think of this movie, when you see the visual masterpiece, I think it's like it's a masterpiece in like sound too. 'Cause
Oh,
it's like
definitely.
Oh yeah, the audio,
the score.
design, and
Well, you're
editing.
asking a guy who's deaf in one ear. Ha,
Yeah.
sound.
the score though, like when big moments happened, you felt it. Maybe
Yes.
it's just because we were in the RPX or whatever, but like
And that's why I keep
I'm
telling
like,
everybody.
oh,
that's
shit.
the way to see this movie.
Yeah.
There's no other way. And I hate to say that because we all know the secondary market is where movies make their money. And,
Yeah.
everybody, either you're buying it or streaming it or
nobody
whatever.
cares about stream or movie theaters anymore.
Yeah. And yet, this is why we need movie theaters.
Yeah.
Like, if any movie was to say in the last, few years outside of, like, Endgame and Infinity War, and Oppenheimer, too. I believe
Yeah.
Oppenheimer's props because it's different. It's a drama, but it's still big screen.
Well, see, that's the thing though. Like, so it's like I always hear that argument. It's like we need movie theaters for that, but everyone's moving to streaming. Like, sure, for the big movies, you of course need to see. But like the ones that I miss is like when like Kramer versus Kramer was like the biggest movie of that year, and what's another like low key movie like Big Daddy? You know,
Big
like
Daddy was a good movie.
yeah. So we're not getting any of those because they don't make any money. So it's like the only reason that people go to theaters anymore is for, if anything, for the big stuff.
Yep.
And that seems like all they're kind of used for now.
Yep.
So like that's kind of like it's a bummer.
It's a
you know?
bummer, but I mean, when you have streaming and you have people who have 85 inches in their houses now,
Yeah.
it's hard to justify a $20 ticket price for a
Yeah,
non-special effect movie.
That's why all
Yeah,
these
I know.
movies have subscription services too, like Regal Unlimited or AMC Plus.
Yeah.
Like they had to find
have
ways
it
to get people to the
because-
theaters twice a month.
It's
At
your
least.
generation's fault.
100%.
100%.
We still go to the theater though.
I mean, like,
Well, I think I don't pay for the tickets. I got the Regal Unlimited,
See,
so I'm
But still,
I'm getting a discounted price.
you go twice a month. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So
I miss just going to a movie for a good drama. Like sometimes I just want to see good cinema. Period.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care what it is. But where's the days of seeing, movies like American Me, which is a great movie. You guys think what the heck
I
is
never heard of
American
that,
Me?
I did not know that.
Go watch it. The fans will
I
watch
heard American Honey.
American Honey. I've seen American Honey as well. Actually, not bad. A24, it's pretty good.
Oh, it was one of.
Yes, A24.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know it was A24.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, I think their first one was what? Spring Breakers.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start looking forward to Dune Messiah.
Oh,
So where this movie leaves off, Paul and Florence Pugh's character are going to get married. I guess is what they're kind of
The
going
look on
for.
Zendaya's face when she's like,
Yeah.
"You be my wife." She's like,
And
it was a moment. It was a moment, and then on top of that, let's not skip.
and then he
over
like
kiss.
looks at her, is like, "I love you
Yeah.
anyway, though,
Yeah,
bitch."
Christopher Walken kissed the ring first.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not gloss over that.
Even on a meta sense, like this is Christopher
Yeah.
Walken kissing the ring of Timothy Chalamet,
Yep.
like the new guy.
passing the torch.
Passing
Yeah.
the torch. It's new. It's old Hollywood versus new Hollywood.
Yep.
New
That's
Hollywood
fucking
is winning.
crazy.
Because new Hollywood is in this movie. It's
the future.
the only people that are kind of
The future is now, old man.
Spider-Man's not in this movie. I mean, he's New Hollywood. A couple of other young people in New Hollywood, but these are the top. And this is a question I've asked for a while. Who are the people that are going to take Hollywood into the next 20, 40 years?
Zendaya.
And we're looking at them right now.
Zendaya, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh,
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, and Pedro Pascal.
I think at least one of the Stranger Things kids is gonna. I think it's either
Sadie Sink.
Sadie
Sadie
Sink
Sink.
or Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown's still in the mix. I mean, she's around.
She's in the mix. It's just Sadie Sink just out.
Sadie
is
Sink's
outdoing
so
it.
much
Yeah, Sadie
She's
Sink's
better
than
dramatic actor.
Yes, and then you have
Yeah.
what's her name from Euphoria, who's really everywhere.
Oh, Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney's everywhere.
She's good.
Unfortunately, Madam Web, please no.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
See, I want her to like, because I know she's a great actor. But just everyone about Sydney Sweeney. Like, oh,
Don't
Sydney
count
Sweeney.
on Tom Holland either.
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom Holland. He's in that.
He's an
mix.
interesting one though, because it's like
He can do a little everything.
Yeah.
he can, but it's
European
like
actor.
Not great.
fucking like all his movies suck outside of the MCU. Same thing
Outside
with
of
just
them,
Daisy
yeah.
Ridley. Like they all suck.
Yeah.
Outside of Star Wars.
I mean,
I don't know. Uncharted wasn't
I'm
bad.
trying to get. It wasn't. It's watchable.
See, I didn't mind it, but I'm not a fan of the games. Everyone I talk to is a fan of the games. They're like, "This is fucking dog shit." It's kind of
I'm a
how
fan
you
of the
are
games.
with Avatar. But he likes the Avatar show.
All right. Don't get me started on Avatar.
No, we're not getting
All
started
right,
on that.
sticking, Caillou with
It's
that
fucking
cartoon.
Let's
it's
go-
not Caillou.
Okay, let's
bro.
get
Right.
back to
Yeah,
Dune Messiah.
He's trying to get me off the rails.
All right, yeah, I know.
He's trying to poke the bear.
trying to
Yeah, you
incite
like
violence
doing
over here.
debates.
Stop it.
Don't poke the bear.
Okay,
That's
so-
a different show.
So, Dune Messiah, where do we go from here as the movie is setting up?
Dune Messiah is going. I mean, this is now a bigger scale. Everything is now the stakes are higher. Why I'm still holding on to that first movie did not set this tone.
No.
Because you and then
I'm getting that vibe
Let's
now.
be honest. We can honestly say this movie is the movie that most people are gonna say that sequel's way better than the original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Across the board, everybody's
Easily.
Well,
it's better
another
than the
thing
original.
is like it almost like this movie makes the first one kind of unjustified.
Yes.
Like you could have just had a 20-minute, half-hour thing of the entire first movie,
Yes.
really condensed,
Yeah,
get all the big beats.
The
out of
first
way.
movie falls flat in the face.
Well, that's the problem with the original 1984 Dune, though.
Yes.
They rushed the second half of that
Yes.
movie. This movie started, Dune Part 2.
That's another thing that they rushed the
Okay,
second half of this movie too, though.
Okay,
That's
hold
the
on.
thing.
I don't think they rushed it so much that the pacing picks up because you're in war.
Yeah, but it's like they go from like they defeat they get like the first thing done.
Yeah.
Then like the next scene is like it looks like they've been waiting for a little bit, but it's just the next scene and like, oh, the houses are here. Let's go. It's time. Then they have the knife fight. Then it's over.
Yeah, and the house is paused. Like, let's not forget. Like, they tell them, "Hey, look, we've got the emperor hostage.
Okay.
He's usurping the throne.
Yeah.
Do you acquiesce?" And they said, "No, we don't."
So fuck that.
Yeah.
Why? Because and you would think, why would the great houses say, okay, yeah, we're cool with it? Because he's Atreides. He's of the bloodline. You know? But
Are they racist or something?
no, it's because there's still other players in the background.
Oh, they think somebody else is the Kwisatz Haderach?
Well, no, there's other players. And when I said other players, the ones we don't see.
Like Fade Roth, it was another
Well,
player.
it was another player, but they also have the navigators. And they're very important.
So the navigators are like the really strong council. They're like, hey.
They're the reason why they can travel. And
do the other houses think that like Paul is gonna kill us even if we're joined up with him?
Why wouldn't you think that? Look what he just did.
I mean, if I'm Paul,
Yeah. I mean,
I would be like, oh, they didn't really have anything to do with it. It was just kind of.
But the thing is, like, if you look at any people in power, right? And I love that Herbert kind of handles that. Like, it's always a thin line how long your power is going to last. And if
Well, that's
all
what's
these
happened to-
and all these houses they've been bickering. They've always been bickering amongst each other. So everybody wants to be in the top spot. They say, okay, we hear that. Okay, the Harkonnens, they took them out, but we know the Harkonnens are brutal anyway. They took out Atreides. They think Atreides is gone. You notice no one came to their aid,
Yeah.
and that's what Duncan Idaho says.
Well, it's kind of like the succession thing. They're all siblings and like, yeah, I'm not gonna save you.
I'm not gonna save you.
Yeah, because
not
it might
gonna
be my
save
chance later.
Exactly.
So all the other houses are thinking
They're
like,
playing.
okay,
Everybody's playing the Game of Thrones. You know, so like, yeah, but they're playing at that because also
I'm just surprised not a single one of them took like the Frey route where they're like, okay, I'm going to team up with these guys that I'm not really into, but I could. Come
also
up
they
behind them.
didn't. A lot of it wasn't known because it was done in the dark. That's why when you see Jason Momoa's character go to in the first movie, she goes to the judge of the change and says, "Hey, well, why aren't you saying anything about what happened to us? Why is your emperor not doing anything?" She said, "Oh no, I've been told not to speak on this." Like, wait a minute, we just got slaughtered.
Yeah, and then she gets killed, but
Well, she kind of kills herself, but
yeah.
but like, yeah, he's like, no. They kind of did that in the dark, and it was like, okay, it's over, and then everybody gets the news later, like, oh, they fell. Like, what are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
Oh well, too late.
Too late. Yeah,
Carry on.
No, they're gone. And then you find out, in an instant, oh wait a minute, he's with these desert people.
Yeah.
And and they're saying that he might be the Kwisatz Haderach. What's going on here? We don't know. We don't have no. We haven't proved this yet. We heard this dude is the dude, but we don't know yet.
So we're gonna see other like Fade Rothas come in and be
maybe.
like and challenge Paul for the throne. or
Well,
whatever?
we're going to see other planets too.
We're gonna see other planets. I mean, we're gonna see other Bennett Jesuits trying to pretty much saying, maybe is he the guy? He knows he's the guy.
Yeah.
They know he's the guy, but you gotta see it.
I mean, it probably would be a little more difficult to prove that he is instead of just being like what he did with the Fremen. But like, can't he just be like,
The guy,
be
instead
like,
of
I know
proving-
secrets about you nobody else knows?
Yeah,
Like,
instead of proving to 200 people, you got to prove to 5, 6 other planets.
how do you prove that though? Other
He will.
than what he's
He
done.
will. He will.
Okay.
He will. He will prove it, and because he's a scary creature. Like he's
You'll
so.
see.
So does he have like force powers or some shit
Yeah,
now?
you'll see.
Because all I know is like he can just see different timelines.
There's a line in the David Lynch movie. He says, "When you look into the dark, I'm the one there staring back at you."
Oh, that's creepy.
He's that scary.
Yep.
He's God level. Like, this dude's top of the mountain, scary powers. And when his sister is born, even though I love what they do with the sister, I love how they use her as this scary fetus.
Yeah.
When she's born, she's even more scary. Because she's powerful too.
Yeah, she's just as powerful, but she doesn't have the backing that Paul does.
Well, she's a reverend mother.
Oh, so she's like both. She's all in one.
She's going to pretty much do her own thing.
Shit.
And then later on in the book, she goes totally insane
I can see that happening.
because she's too powerful at such a young age.
So
It's scary.
So the thing is though, when Paul changes from like I don't want to do this to I want to do this, it's mostly for revenge. It's just a slippery slope after this where he
Yeah.
keeps going, he just can't stop
Pretty
himself.
much.
So
Ultimate
there's
power corrupts. It will
Yeah.
corrupt because when you get to children, then you start realizing, okay, because we know Fade's got.
I just want there to be like a different way to get there instead of just being like, oh, that's just the thing. Instead of that just being like, oh, after the path, I want there to be a reason, a reason to go forward. You know what I mean?
Well, the reason to go forward at this point is that he can see the future.
So it's just his fear. Does he fear the future or like?
No, he is the future. He totally believes
So
it.
he can control everything. But it's just kind of like the Doctor Strange thing in like Infinity War, where he's like, "Oh, if this happens, if like we see this, you know."
Yeah, he saw the pathway.
One.
No. He sees multiple pathways,
Yeah.
and all of them are scary as heck. But he just
Well,
chooses
so-
the one. No, he just chooses, dude.
So, but like, would he like? Would it?
Yeah, you wonder where his conscience is at this
Yeah, like,
point.
would he choose like the road like with less bloodshed to get there?
I don't think there is a road with less bloodshed.
Well,
You just
it
have to
sounds
wait
like
and
he's-
see, Danny.
It sounds like he's gonna have to kill some people. But I'm saying like, is he gonna like justify what he's doing? Like, be like, oh, it could have been worse. I could have done this.
I mean, maybe. maybe.
That's pretty much all we have.
I'm glad
Any
you
last
guys had me
thoughts?
on the show. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of.
Oh, well,
cool-
do you like this one? Do you like this series better than the original, the 84?
Oh man, that's a hard one because the original is so close to my heart as a kid.
Yeah.
That was that dark sci-fi, old school sci-fi has a very, and this is old school sci-fi and it's done right. Like Planet of the Apes is old school sci-fi.
Yes.
I'm glad when they brought that back, and I do like this
So
series.
what Kingdom is going to be kind of the 1-to-1 to the original. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
it's gonna get close. We're not there yet, but we're close. And I like that they're not saying looking at the old '70s stuff and saying, oh no, we don't want it. We were just gonna act like that never happened.
No, they're using it.
They're using it.
Yeah,
and I love that.
Yeah.
This with Dune, I do love what's done here. Now, granted, it's been done a few places. It's been done on Sci-Fi, and they did a series. And I didn't really watch all of it. So, like, I know they go past Messiah, they go into Children, and they go into all that other stuff, which is pretty cool. This movie, I think it's good. This series is ending at 3 movies, right? We don't
Well,
know.
Villeneuve is probably going to end at 3, yeah.
I would hope he'd give us 4.
Well, maybe he'll
There's a
pass the
lot-
torch to someone
There's
else.
a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen that's going to get really interesting. So hopefully we get 4 movies.
We'll see.
Everybody likes the trilogy thing, but
I never understood why we got to do trilogies. It's like, okay, so I talk about this with like Batman or something,
Yeah.
right? You have, or even the Avengers.
Yeah.
You have one movie, you get together. You have another movie, it's like status quo, and then the third one, everything like falls apart. And like, why? Why you gotta do that? Like why can't we just have like a few movies, like two or 3 movies of Batman just staying
Well,
Batman?
we had 4 Thor movies, though. And 4 really fell apart.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like Avengers really pisses me off. They get together in the first one, then in Age of Ultron, they it's like, oh, that was a good adventure, right? I like that. Kind
it's
of
solid.
vibe.
It's solid.
I like
and it had consequences.
Yes, they're they're together, but then they're not like fully broken apart.
Yeah.
They're having like a bit of lovers quarrel. Then in Civil War, everything falls apart.
That's not really an Avengers
I'm
movie,
gonna be
though.
honest with you. Yeah, it's not an Avengers
But
movie.
Infinity War, they're apart. They're
It's
broken up.
2.5.
Yeah.
Like they're not. Like what's the why?
I'm of the ilk who looks at Infinity War and says, I don't think it was a good movie, but that's just
Whoa. That's sacrilege.
Whoa.
said it. Yeah,
Sacrilege.
Whoa.
Sacrilege.
It's good in part. Oh yeah, we got Spider-Man. Yay!
Fuck you. Wait. You say Civil War or Infinity War?
I said Civil War.
okay,
I
okay.
thought you said
Yeah,
Infinity War, and I
No, I
got
get it.
scared.
Crazy. Infinity War.
So it's another thing. If it's out of if they just didn't call it Civil War, they call
Yeah,
it. Or,
yeah.
If they weren't trying to do
Well,
a
like,
comparison, because the comics are so much bigger, so
Yes,
much better.
yes.
But I think it's a good movie on.
I mean, if they would have just called it like beef.
yeah.
Iron Man and Captain America don't like each other.
Yeah.
Then Spider-Man tries to kill himself with some hibachi grills.
Oh, my God.
I don't get it.
Yeah. No, Civil War it's all right. It was overhyped. But yeah.
Spider-Man.
Because
They were trying to sell Spider-Man for that movie. That's all. That's the sell.
But why wouldn't you though? Like you just get the rights to him. I don't think they should have showed him in the trailer, but that's another thing.
It did too. I mean,
Hey, everyone.
it was. They were focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
How about make a better movie? The characters are built in. Make a better movie.
They just shouldn't have called it Civil War. I think it's a fine, decent like conflict and like decent movie. But then also there's no the stakes at the end. They just follow. They're like, we're still buddies though. You can give me a call whenever.
Sorta.
Yeah. It's like it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
your
like a
ex.
breakup. It's like a breakup. It's a weird breakup.
All right. Well, anyway.
Anywho.
We're Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @SeenItBeforecast. That's SCENE Beforecast. And on Twitter with the handle SIB_pod. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Wasp, my letterbox and serialized at DJ Wasp, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was.
Who would you like to
like to-
plug any of your social medias?
I am just
You're just-
Paul Greaves, Pooh130 on Instagram. You can hit me up. I do Art Fridays. Outside of that, you can't find me.
Good.
I'm
A
an
lot
old
of our
man.
guests you
I
can't
got
find either,
I'm
so
an old
don't feel
man. I
bad.
have 2 kids. I don't have time for such things.
Our other guests are also off the grid, so don't worry about it.
I won't agree. Just Instagram. That's what you can
Yeah.
No worries.
Wait. Our next adventure on Seen It Before. What do we
First time
got?
I've
I know. That's the only, I don't know why I
Every
said
movie got to do with
adventure.
blood, right?
Adventure.
Oh yeah, the Oscar special. Oscars is
right.
next. So we well
Gonna be a,
we have
Testing Oscar.
we have all of our picks in. We had our nomination special last month.
Oppenheimer, basically across the board for a lot of it.
And all the award shows are saying it too. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
well no. Cameron still thinks Barbie's gonna win Best Picture. So
Barbie's going. If Barbie is best picture,
it's easy.
I'm
He
really
says it's
sorry.
easy, and the Oscars like an easy win.
Yeah, but these award shows. Can we just say award shows suck at this point?
Oh, no, they do.
Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
Yes.
The best thing that ever happened to the Oscars was a slap. Let's just be honest.
Well, no, I think that's one of the worst things because it kind of revived it for a second.
That's why it was good.
That's why they did it.
No. Yeah, well, yeah, I know that's why they did it.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I would have just like if the slap didn't happen, it would just kind of faded into obscurity. You know, we would have been done with it.
Because like
The
people
20
love Hollywood.
With the 2020 or 2021, one of them was like the lowest rated in history. I think
Yeah.
it got like under 10 million, like 5 million. I don't know the full number, but it was like fucking low.
Yeah, it's
Just sad.
not what it used to be.
They
It's
brew
like,
with
it's
it.
like the Grammys, bro. At this point,
I don't even watch the Grammys.
exactly.
Well, wait, I think I had to roll on it for, and I think I saw like, oh yeah, SZA was up there and she had like these like, was she doing Kill Bill? She had the people with knives and like one lady got on this table.
Yes.
Like, I thought she was gonna slice some people up, man. Like this one girl was just like she's like right above her.
Yeah.
It's going right past her
It was
face.
a little bit much.
Anyway, our Oscars special will be out the day after the Oscars, probably at some point. So March 11th, and till then, we'll see you next time.